I was thinking about some of the things that are going on in our country and around the world, really, and in the news. Any of you hear interesting stuff happening in the news and stuff? Ever hear all kinds of
all the immigration stuff?
Just
not really interesting. But.
It's all of a sudden there's a bunch of noise about immigration and kids being locked up in cages and separated from families, and then the president signs an executive order, and then they're like, oh, he caved in, and later they're like, oh wait, no, he can't do that, and they don't even know what to say to be against him, but they know they got to be against him, and and it's just a mess. And then you find out that some of the pictures that they have that they're saying is going on now was stuff that was happening when Obama was in office and not when Trump was in office. And then they have other ones where they have a picture and it's like not even a child that was separated from their parents. It was just someone that was kind of basically posing for a picture, kind of on the cover of a magazine, and they're trying to make this big deal. And it's like
they're pulling out all the stuff that the Clintons had did before and all their legislation that they did to do this, and how all the Democrats were saying all this back when they were in office, and Trump is just saying what they said, and now it's all Trump and nobody else because all the Democrats are perfect, and they wouldn't ever do this stuff.
It's very interesting to see, and you see them, and they talk about for the kids and the children. How much they care about the children. And listen, if they really cared about the children, why aren't they making more noise about all the babies that are being ripped out of the wombs of their mothers and being put to good death? If they really cared about children, why wouldn't they care about some child that in the process of being born is being put to death? If they really cared about children. And the reality of what they really care about is starting to be made manifest in such a real way. And their hypocrisy of so many is being manifest in such a real way.
They care about the immigrants more than they are their own people.
Yeah.
I mean, we are second-class citizens compared to the immigrants now.
Right.
They are all that the politicians care about, and it's like, wait a minute, this is our country.
Yeah.
You were put there because we voted for you, but now they're giving these immigrants and everything more rights than we have.
Yeah, it's amazing. I joked with our kids because with my wife being Indian and Portuguese, Indian is considered Asian, Portuguese is considered like Spanish, so you could do Hispanic because Hispanic's just a name they made up. But if they put down Asian for school and stuff, they don't get any kind of grants or help or anything like that. But if they put down Hispanic, boy, they get all kinds of kind of grants. Because we first put down Asian, and I was like, from now on, you guys are Hispanic, And I said, and if only your mom wasn't a legal immigrant, if she was illegal, boy, you would get so many different. And the sad thing is there's a lot of truth to that. But the thing I wanted to bring out with all this that's going on, and you see all the especially it's funny to see where they don't know how to react. Because Trump this week signed an executive order, and at first they were starting to go, oh yeah, he caved in, he's listening, and then later they started going, oh no, he can't do this, and he's wrong, and it's like they didn't even know how to react to it. And what's funny about it, and what's happening, and what I wanted to point out to you is, remember, a few months back, I guess it was, we were talking about principalities and powers, rulers of the darkness of this age, spiritual forces of wickedness in heavenly places, and how they come in and they have areas and countries and things that they influence and they affect. Well, they are strongly ensconced in government. And in American government, there are principalities and powers. There are rulers of the darkness of this age. There are spiritual forces of wickedness in heavenly places. And since this last election, they are starting to be revealed more and more and more. In our news media, they are very strong and very influential. And what's interesting is, I'm not just talking about one side or another. We think we kind of had a two-party system here. There's a little more, but basically you have Republican, Democrat, or you have liberal, conservative, and they kind of mix together. But in reality, those powers are in both of those camps in different ways and in very strong ways. And the reason that they are in such turmoil is because the president we have now, Donald Trump, is not sold out to either one. I'm not saying he's some godly man or anything like that. No, because he's not. He's just a man. And he's kind of a man's man. He's kind of his own man. He's, a self-made man. And he's a man that moves and does things without falling into this big surrender to all these principalities and powers. See, in the government system, in the political system, you have to start buying into the camp of the different powers that are there, and the more you're moving up, the more you end up having to align with the different ones. We saw this in the last elections. The powers to be had anointed a certain individual to be the Queen of America. And she didn't get in, and it really ticked them off. And God can do this. God can use a donkey. God can use an ungodly man. God can use the most wicked person to upset the schemes of the enemy. And God used Donald Trump to bring him in and bring someone that's from the outside to bring in this turmoil, because he doesn't do it the way this power wants or the way this power wants, but sometimes it's kind of the way they want, sometimes it's kind of the way they want, but he did it. So it wasn't that, because the problem isn't what is being done, the problem is they lost control. And they want control. Even if he does what they want done, they're angry.
Yeah, they're not happy
because they don't have control. They lost control and they want control. And in the past, there's a lot of tricks they were able to use and they could get control back. And it's not working. It doesn't work. I've never seen anything like it. They catch Trump on something and they should be able to get him on it. And he should be backing down and apologizing. And instead he doubles down on it and goes full force, and it works. And it's like, it's insane. It shouldn't work that way. But it is. And it's one of those things that God is using to frustrate the plans and the workings of the enemy, those principalities and powers. And the reason he is doing that, I believe, is because it is a distraction, for one thing. Because God is raising up a people in the church. God is raising up a movement and preparing our country for a great revival, and he's getting everything in place for that. And now the enemy is so distracted with what's happening in all the political realm, and not just in America but around the world. Imagine little rocket man coming to America and talking to the president. Could you have even seen that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago? It seemed impossible. And then you got the other things going on with, little trade wars and all these different things and all these different issues and all this stuff that's going on. And nothing is stable the way it has been. Not that the stability we had was good in the past, but the powers to be had their control and things were going the way they wanted them to. Good or bad, going the way they wanted them to. Now it's not going the way they want to. They're losing control, and they have to put their energy, put their focus, put their time, put their resources into trying to figure out how to get control back, while all the time God is raising up a people that is going to come from the bottom up with power and majesty. The leaven that's going to leaven the whole lump is being activated, and all of a sudden, while they're over here, up here, trying to take care of all this stuff, the leaven's going to come from underneath, and we're going to see a revival that'll sweep the world and lead to the ushering in of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.
Yeah.